what do you fight for 30 minutes?
5-minute rounds,
Okay.
1 minute between rounds. And obviously it's best out of 3. And
you guys are scoring it.
Yeah. I mean, it's last man standing. So we use a lot of judo, and if we can take you down with a double-handed axe, let me grab one of those. Hang on. If we can take you down with a double-handed axe, we will.
Jimmy, you know that this would be absolutely amazing to be part of, right?
Absolutely. This is unbelievable. Are there rules?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got.
Not only are there rules, there are marshals, there are red cards, there are yellow cards. So this is a double-handed axe. And
Yeah, that's pretty.
This is made of AR-400 tool grade steel. It's 40 inches long, and this is carbon wrap, and it weighs 5.1 pounds. And the only difference is
it looks like, oh, it doesn't have an edge.
No,
okay.
All of our weapons are blunt. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a sport. We'd have dead people.
Yeah. So if the edge is in place, it can get through the armor?
No, I mean,
it would just be for slicing the weak points in the armor, right? You'd go after the actual edge parts or the soft parts.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Part of our sport is we take these heavy steel weapons and hit people in the armor gaps. The gaps between the brigandine, which is their chest armor, or the cuirass, which is their full steel plate, and their cuisses, their leg armor. There's a little gap there at the hip, and you try and aim for that. But you wear what's called a tabard or a surcoat, and they used to do that back in the day. You wear it over your armor, kind of like a jersey, so that it hides those armor gaps from your enemy. And then we wear gauntlets. These are titanium, and you punch people in the face. These are literally the gauntlets that we wear.
Oh my God, that must feel amazing to hit somebody with that, because the sound and the impact, but without the pain of the yeah. And I would imagine the person who's getting whacked in the head, it's mostly the noise and the impact, obviously, but the noise is probably really annoying and probably the part that hurts the most.
And the coolest thing is the smell of ozone. When steel smacks steel, the smell, the spark that's created, and the smell of ozone inside of your helmet is really awakening.
So if you
what is this like?
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I'm gonna grab my
Is
axe.
this like a league or like a? I'm thinking a fight club just with.
There are it's way bigger than that, brother. There are multiple leagues. There's HMB, which stands for historical medieval battle. There's a USA team. There are international competitions all over the world. There's IMCF International Medieval Combat Federation. There are over 2,000 fighters internationally. Right now, there's always international competitions in Europe. We have tournaments every few months here, all over the country. Almost every major city has, except for Florida. Florida's been kind of behind but we've changed that. We have 25 fighters now.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this. This is amazing.
It's called Buhurt. So I'll give you a little background. In medieval times, they were really getting tired of knights dying in practice because they were using sharp weapons, and they would train and they would die. And there's countless knights buried in cemeteries and in church vaults, and they died not for land or for title, but for practice. So they got together, and this is where jousting came about. It then became tournament, and the tournament is called Buhurt, or it's spelled B-U-H-U-R-T, which kind of was put in place so that they could still practice full army maneuvers. Like we do melee battles. Starts with 5 versus 5, but it can go up as high as 150 versus 150, full on armies versus armies in Europe.
That's fucking nuts. And
the rule, the rule set is last man standing. So if I hit you with this double-handed axe upside your head or catch you in the clavicle, which we wear a gorget, which protects our neck, and this chainmail aventail protects your neck. But if I hit you in your clavicle and you don't like it and you go down, you're out, and you have to sit right there till the end of the round. If I use judo and I do an osotogari, or I do a sasai trip or an ouchigari, and I plant you on your face, you're out.
So you once somebody's hit the ground in any way, shape, or form, that's in and out. Yeah, it's
Yep.
like havoc. Okay.
And you can't do anything. You sit there, and then if you're sitting there in the middle of the list is the medieval version of an octagon. If you're sitting there in the middle of the list, we're going to throw people over you. You're now an obstacle. So the rest of the people are fighting, and you can't see shit. You can't hear shit because you've got this giant, helmet on that's meant to protect you from giant weapons. And you can fall over other people. It's pretty crazy.
What was it like getting insurance for this?